Hey guys, today we will discuss about the lessons from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, which explains on how the rich think about money which others don't. In the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, the author Robert Kiyosaki has two dads, one rich and not that much educated and the other who was highly educated but poor. So he gives a sharp contrast on how both of them think about money and what we can learn from it. Let's begin. First, the poor dad was trained to go to college, get educated, and get a job. And the poor dad told the same to his son, Robert Kiyosaki, also. He told Robert Kiyosaki to study hard, get a degree, and join a good company as an employee and work throughout his life. Kiyosaki notes that it is the fear that keeps people working at a job, whereas the rich dad was not that educated. Rather, he is someone whom you would call street smart. He tried out various businesses and employed people to work for him. The rich dad always emphasized on financial education over traditional education. Some businesses worked and some didn't, but ultimately he was successful and wealthy. Second, the difference between how the rich and poor think about assets and liabilities. The poor dad always thought that the house in which they lived in was the biggest asset they had. Robert Kiyosaki defines an asset as something that has value, that produces income or appreciates, and has a market where the asset can easily be bought and sold. Conversely, liabilities take money out of your pocket because of the costs associated with them. So the rich dad always spoke about accumulating assets and minimizing liabilities. Third, next Kiyosaki talks about the difference in mentality about money his rich and poor dad had. When Kiyosaki told his dads that he wants to buy a car, his poor dad straight away told him that they couldn't afford it. On the other hand, in the same situation, his rich dad told him that they couldn't afford the car for now and that he should think about how he can afford it. So in the second advice, your brain automatically starts thinking of ways and means on how one can afford the particular commodity. Fourth, financial education. Though his poor dad was highly educated and made enough money, he always seems to run out of money and that the money he earned was never enough. On the other hand, his other dad, who was less educated, always seems to have his finances sorted out. He quotes in the book, "The primary reason the majority of the poor and middle class are fiscally conservative is that they have no financial foundation. They have to cling to their jobs and play it safe. They can't afford to take risks." Fifth, Robert Kiyosaki talks about how the rich and poor pay taxes. If you consider an average employee who pays around 30% tax, out of every 3 years he works 1 year for the government and the rest 2 years for himself. Seems funny, but it's actually the truth if you think about it. Whereas the rich business owners with corporations and LLCs know how to go around this obstacle. In his own words, quote, "For instance, a corporation can pay expenses before paying taxes, whereas an employee gets taxed first and must try to pay expenses on what is left. Corporations also offer legal protection from lawsuits. When someone sues a wealthy individual, they're often met with layers of legal protection and often find that the wealthy person actually owns nothing in their own name. They control everything but personally own nothing." Sixth, and finally, another main difference which Kiyosaki notes is that poor people work to earn money, whereas the rich people work to learn. The poor people worked just so that they could earn the money at the end of the month, but the rich worked to learn and gain knowledge so that later they could put their knowledge and money to work for them. So in this way, they're able to make more money or generate more income. That's all for today's folks. Please subscribe Wow Finance for more such finance content. I will come up with more videos to simplify personal finance. Thank you. Bye bye.